Donald J. Trump becomes the first president in history to ever be convicted of felony charges, 34 counts. Let's discuss now how both sides of the political field is feeling right now, the Democrats, the Republicans. But first, let's listen to what the former president had to say about his verdict.
Yeah, Judge, if you'll hold on just a second. Sure. We see President Trump now. He is walking out. Let's listen.
Trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. But the real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one, with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Why should voters vote for a convicted felon?
Are you going to drop out? You believe in the rule of law? You trust the jury? Are you going to
So depending on what political side you favor is going to determine how you feel about this verdict. If you lean more to the left, you're probably saying that this is probably one of the greatest moments in American history. We finally got a crook, a liar, a cheat, a fraud to get what he rightfully deserved. However, if you lean more to the right, you're saying that the whole trial was rigged, that the prosecutor was partisan, that the judge was partisan, that the jurors were compromised. The whole thing was a kangaroo trial. Now, how do I feel about all of this? Well, the name of my show is called My Unique Curiosities. And to be a curious person, you have to always be asking questions. Now, I don't just follow left-wing media. I don't just follow right-wing media. I listen to both, and I try to formulate a conclusion, because both sides have lied before. Both sides have good points. So let us now raise some questions. Alvin Braggs is the district attorney in Manhattan. He's been receiving a lot of uproar for his leniency on violent crimes, especially the one with the immigrants who assaulted those NYPD officers and were released soon after. Well, he's a prosecutor of Trump's hush money case, which he resurrected last year because it had previously been abandoned by federal prosecutors of the Southern District of New York for falsifying business records. So a lot of people's concerns is, why now? During an election cycle, do you decide to resurrect the case that has already been dismissed? And also, the statute of limitations has already been exceeded. The second question to be raised is the man who's overseeing Trump's prosecution, Judge Juan Merchan. His daughter, Loren Merchan, a Democrat activist, who's president of the Authentic Campaign, which is a consulting firm, has reported to have two major Democrat clients who have raised at least $93 million in campaign donations, raising concerns that the judge has a conflict of interest. Now, I found that to be interesting, and I feel that should have been talked about more. Now, the next thing I'm going to say is probably going to be the best argument that they're going to have, and they're going to get a successful appeal. And that is Judge Merchan told the jurors that you must reach a unanimous decision on whether or not Trump falsified business records. So in New York, that's normally a misdemeanor. But then he told the jurors that you do not have to reach a unanimous decision on three separate crimes. And these three separate crimes are violation of the Federal Election Campaign Act, falsification of other business records, in violations of tax laws. He will treat a 4-4-4 decision as a unanimous one. So 4 jurors for one of the crime, 4 for another crime, 4 for the other. So all 12 do not have to agree on all 3 of the crimes. What? Listen, I'm no expert on the law, but when has that ever happened where you have not had to have 12 of the jurors reach a unanimous decision on crimes? The only reason this is a felony is because of these separate charges. Otherwise, it would have been just a misdemeanor. And he told them that you can infer your decision. Infer means you can guess. And they used an analogy of raining. So this is what they told him. If you went to bed and it wasn't raining, when you woke up and you looked outside and you saw the floor wet and you saw people with umbrellas, it's safe to say that it was raining. No. Or what if, I don't know, if they were watering the grass and some of the water got on the ground and people were holding umbrellas and it was actually sunny, but they had umbrellas and stuff because it was probably going to rain later. They saw it on the forecast. So basically take a guess because we don't have all the evidence. So you're guilty until proven innocent. Last question that I have, and I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here. They were over 50 pages of juror instructions in Donald Trump's hush money trial in order for the jurors to reach a verdict. It took the judge an hour and a half to read all of these instructions. The jurors are not allowed to take this instructions into the deliberation room. The only thing they could do is take notes. Anytime that they have a question, they got to ring a bell, send a note to the judge, then they all go back into the courtroom, and then they get reread the instructions. You remember when you was in school? How well did you do if you were just to take notes and that was it? Not too well. You got a textbook. You got a summary of what y'all just discussed. You wasn't going to rely just off of just your notes. So why is this different? And would you even blame the jurors? Every time they had a question, they had to ring a bell and go through that whole process and be read. They probably just want to go home too. So it only took 11 hours for them to reach the final verdict on 34 felony counts. 34 felony counts in 11 hours. So do I believe that Donald Trump falsified these records? He probably did. Let's be honest, he probably did. But to slap on separate crimes, to make it a felony and tell the jurors that you don't have to reach a unanimous decision in order to keep this a felony, that ain't right. I don't agree with that. Because at this point now, you're just weaponizing the judiciary system. But as you see, the Democrats and the Republicans will do whatever they possibly can in order to win. And this is the Democrats' biggest play. Don't get this messed up now. They losing on the polls. So the best thing they possibly could do right now is call Trump a convicted felon. Because they're not winning on a bunch of other issues. They're not winning on inflation. They're not winning with Israel. So this is one of the biggest plays. So my biggest concern now is if they could do that to him, what the hell could they do to you and me? Listen, y'all, if you like the video, hit that like button. I'm watching you. Comment, let me know. Is this the greatest day in America right now? Or is this the worst? And then share the video so we can continue to have these kind of conversations. Much needed, y'all. Until next time, make sure that question, why, is always being used on your part every single day. Peace.
President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir? Do you think that